if you are a qualifier when you hear the sounder go off each hour. And don't forget, today is one of the final days for you to qualify. So keep an ear out when we tell you to call a little bit later this hour. But before we get to another opportunity for you to qualify for the contest, we got to talk Sixers and Knicks. We got to talk about the state of the Phillies heading into the weekend. We got to get to some NFL draft talk, all that more here on the Power Hour known as Game Night on 97.3 ESPN. Text board is open at 609-403-0973, and you can DM the show through the 97.3 ESPN mobile app powered by First Bank of Seattle. You and me for the next hour. And, today is a very interesting day sports-wise because, nationally, this play-in tournament has a lot of people's attention, right? A lot of people are very focused on this play-in tournament tonight. But for people who don't have a team in the play-in, unless you are a Miami Heat fan, Chicago Bull fan, unless you are a New Orleans Pelicans fan, if you're a fan of those teams, then you're probably going to be hyper-focused on the play-in tournament. I'll give you some picks a little bit later in the hour. But as we look ahead to the weekend, obviously for many of us, a huge area of focus is going to be the Sixers and the Sixers and the Knicks. And to me, there are some keys that Philadelphia has to do. And, one of the great parts about having a job like this is that you get to gather information from people. We get to gather all week long, right? All week long, we get to gather information from different analysts, different people to try to put together how we are looking at the game coming up. And the problem I'm running into is that I have only heard three people, that's it, pick the Knicks. And I mean legitimately pick the Knicks, not like hem and hawing about the Knicks. Legitimately pick the Knicks to win. And the reason why every one of them picked the Knicks, whether it was Stephen A. Smith on television, whether it was Mike McGarry earlier on the Sports Bash, whether it was Mitch Lawrence from Sirius XM NBA radio, they all basically had the same reason. Joel Embiid. They keep pointing out the idea that Joel Embiid is injured, he's not healthy, and that unless Joel Embiid was healthy and good to go, then they don't believe that Philadelphia can win the series. And I keep going back to what Brian Windhorst said yesterday in my mind on the Pat McAfee show when he talked about Joel Embiid and the Sixers this season.
Calling the Sixers a 7 seed is ridiculous. They were 32-8 this year when Embiid played. That ain't a 7 seed, which is why some of the Knicks fans are kind of bummed that they worked so hard to get the 2 seed. Now they got to face this team.
Aww.
So when Embiid is there, they're tough, man.
When Embiid is there. See, and that's the key to this whole conversation, because I would argue that since Joel Embiid came back from his injury, the worst version of Joel Embiid that we have seen was on Wednesday night. I have to believe that he is going to respond. He is going to come out of that game, him and the Sixers training staff, him and the organization. They are going to come out of this experience, we'll call it, and they are going to be better. Now, whether being better equals winning a playoff series or not, We're going to find out, obviously. But I got to tell you guys, if the only reason you're giving me is Joel Embiid is not healthy, how do you look at 32-8 then? How do you rationalize a team winning 32 of 40 games with a player if your prerequisite for picking against that team is said player is not healthy? I just think that that's a flawed philosophy. If you were to get up and tell me that the Sixers don't have an answer for Jalen Brunson, okay, I can work with that. If you were to tell me that Philadelphia doesn't have a good enough perimeter defense to slow down the Knicks' ability to shoot from the outside, again, I can work with that. If you were to tell me that the New York Knicks play a style of basketball that Philadelphia cannot handle, I can work with that. But the fallback answer, time and again, keeps going to Joel Embiid is not healthy. And I just take that as an unacceptable answer at this point. You go through Joel Embiid's season, right? And you realize that of those 8 losses, the 8 times that Philadelphia has lost with Joel Embiid on the court, one of those games he scored 40 points, another one he scored 39. A third loss, he scored 32 points. Another one, he scored 30. So that means that half of your losses with Joel Embiid in the lineup have been all games in which he has scored at least 31 points. So how does a healthy Joel Embiid having a great night matter in a series with the Knicks? It's a flawed philosophy. In fact, one of the games Sixers lost with Embiid on the floor this year was against the Knicks, and that game they lost by 36 points. Well, you might say, how do you lose by 36 points if Joel Embiid has 30 points and 10 rebounds and 3 blocks? It's a very simple answer. Philadelphia couldn't make a shot if their life depended on it. He was the only person scoring in that game on January 5th. They shot horribly from three-point range. They couldn't make a shot, and the Knicks seemingly couldn't miss a shot. So now we flip it to it's a make or miss league. Now we got that excuse out there. It's a make or miss league. So now we have 5 of your 8 games. Joel Embiid had 30 or more points. So the Sixers are 32-8 with Joel Embiid in the lineup. But 5 of those 8 losses, Joel Embiid had 30 points in those games. Why does Joel Embiid not being healthy matter for you to win or not win this series? It's a flawed argument. The reason why the Sixers have a chance to win this series is nothing to do with Joel Embiid. It's because of the other guys on this team. Tyrese Maxey, if he shows up in this game, if he shows up in this playoff series, the Sixers are going to probably win the series. And they're probably going to win the series because in order for Maxey to have a game, he is going to wear down the best perimeter defenders for the Knicks. His speed and his aggressive play, his downhill mentality, his ability to be a shot maker, he will be the X factor in this series. Because if Maxey has 25 to 30 point games every night, that means he's making Jalen Brunson and Deontay DiVincenzo work. And if he's making the Knicks' best players work on the defensive end, they are not going to be as fresh on the offensive end. And considering the Knicks already play a very slow style of basketball, they do not speed up like the Pacers. They do not get athletic like the Magic. They do not get feisty like the Heat do. They're a scrappy team. They're a tough-minded team. But if Joel Embiid isn't the reason why you're going to win every game in this series, it comes down to Maxey. If Tyrese Maxey has some big games, they will win this series. That is my number one key, is Maxey. It has become very apparent to me that this organization miscalculated very early on when it came to how they were building rosters. They treated Joel Embiid's number 2 in the past like that person didn't matter on the offensive end. They stuck with the Ben Simmons experiment way too long. Tyrese Maxey is what you were hoping Markelle Fultz would have been in terms of his shooting, his athleticism, his scoring ability. And now you enter this Knicks series with an opportunity to get back to the second round and make a deep playoff run. And we already know that when Tyrese Maxey scores, the Sixers typically don't lose those games. Yes, in the most literal sense, they have lost a couple games where Maxey has scored a lot. One of them against the Knicks without Joel Embiid. And by the way, in that game, they shot horribly from three-point range again. And that's second key. You cannot get into a three-point shootout with the Knicks. Because when Brunson and DiVincenzo and those guys for the Knicks, when they start rolling on the three-pointers, on the shots, they are hard to stop. They are like a juggernaut. They will just keep coming and you can't stop them. So the second key for this series is the Sixers got to make sure they're getting three-point production. That means Kyle Lowry, Buddy Hield, Kelly Oubre, Nicholas Batum. You need all of those guys. Cameron Payne. You need all those guys. Tobias Harris to stop being a bum. You need all these guys to make threes. You need all of them to offset one of the keys to the Knicks offense. And the flip side, that is also the third key. You cannot play the Knicks the way you did the Thunder a couple weeks ago, the way you played the Miami Heat a couple days ago. This whole allowing people to get open threes, I never understood it. I feel like Nick Nurse is a much better coach than that. There's got to be some sort of miscommunication or some misunderstanding by the players to allow all these open threes to be happening. You guys, let me know what you think about the series. Do you agree or disagree with me? 609-403-0973, your DMs into the 973 ESPN mobile app powered by First Bank of Seattle. Plus, we will get you some thoughts on the Phillies weekend, and we are less than a week away from the NFL draft. I have some thoughts on the draft as well this hour. Joey D and Bentner, Jeff in Ocean City. I'll get the your messages coming up on the other side and more. Josh Hennig hanging out with you on 97.3 ESPN FM. And don't forget the 97.3 ESPN mobile app powered by First Bank of Seattle City.
Tonight on ESPN Radio, it's an NBA play-in doubleheader. First in Miami, Bam Adebayo and the Miami Heat face DeMar DeRozan and the Chicago Bulls.
We will do this the hard way. That has to be the path right now.
Then in New Orleans, Brandon Ingram and the Pelicans face De'Aaron Fox and the Sacramento Kings. It's win, and you're in. Coverage of the Heat and Bulls, followed by the Pelicans and Kings. Tonight on ESPN Radio.
Listen to the NBA on 97.3 ESPN. Coverage begins at 7 p.m.
With Spring Black Friday deals at the Home Depot, you can give your lawn or garden beds a pop of color and protection. Right now, get a special buy on Scott's Earth Grow Mulch, 5 bags for just $10. Help your soil retain moisture longer with color that lasts up to 12 months. Shop Spring Black Friday deals for a special buy on Scott's Earth Grow Mulch 5 bags for just $10 at the Home Depot. How doers get more done. Color selection varies by store. Limit 60 bags per customer while supplies last.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential. But finding those people can be a major hassle, unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Backed by popular demand, it's Matt Blatt Kias 2 for $222 all month long until they're gone. Get 2 new Kias for $222, but only while supplies last. Get a brand new 2024 Kia Forte LXS for just $111 per month lease with 0 security deposits and just $39.95 due at signing. With a price like that, why not get 2 for $222? That's a brand new Kia Forte for $111 per month, or drive home 2 for $222. Even get 0% APR for 48 months or $7,500 cash back on any new 2024 Kia EV9. Plus, if you have a job clearing $450 per week, we want to get you approved today.
It's gotta be a Matt Blatt Kia.
With approved credit, APR, or cash back on 2024 EV9. Not all will qualify. Credit may affect down payments. Offers can't be combined. Go to mattblattkianj.com for complete details or 888-505-6670. Price includes all costs to be paid by consumer except for licensing, registration, and taxes through KMF. 24 months, $111 per month, 10,000 miles per year. Rebates and incentives to dealer. Expires 5/4/24. Matt Blatt Kia, 6211 Black Horse Pike, Egg Harbor Township, and on Route 37 in Toms River.
Ask Sherwin-Williams during the 4-day super sale, April 19th through the 22nd, and get 40% off paints and stains with prices starting at $26.69. That means 40% off our most popular color family, blue. Psychologists have found it to be soothing and relaxing, which makes it especially great for bedrooms and bathrooms. And of course, get 40% off all of our other colors. Shop the sale online or visit your neighborhood Sherwin-Williams store. Retail sales only. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Pizza's here.
Oh, great. I'd love some, but I'm worried about my stomach issues.
If you're worried about having diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools, it may not just be stomach issues. It could be a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
For the ones who work hard to ensure their crew can always go the extra mile, and the ones who get in early so everyone can go home on time, there's Grainger, offering professional-grade supplies backed by product experts so you can quickly and easily find what you need. Plus, you can count on access to a committed team ready to go the extra mile for you. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
A toast to our new college grad who fills us with so much joy, almost as much as when we're in our RV. Oh, the world is your oyster, kiddo, and ours too. Now that we're covered with Progressive, Dad and I can hop in our RV anytime we want. Might even splurge on a retractable awning. Ooh, look out. Sorry, what was I talking about?
Protect your loved one with an RV policy from Progressive. Take as little as 4 minutes to see what you could save at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Is switching your wireless service to Total by Verizon easy?
Totalmente.
And you get unlimited 5G data, $25 a line for 4 lines on the unlimited plan at an amazing price with no contracts. Should you switch to Total by Verizon? Definitely.
Totalmente.
Find a store or switch suavemente at totalbyverizon.com. Monthly rate when you activate without a pay plus taxes and fees. Discount begins the month after you enroll. Additional terms apply. See website for data management practices.
It's time to relax and plan your next vacation. Spirit Airlines has non-stop flights to Myrtle Beach and your favorite Florida destinations, connecting you to the Caribbean, Latin America, and Mexico. American Airlines and Atlantic City International Airport have teamed up to provide another option to get you to that dream destination. Over 90 domestic and international destinations are now available from right here in South Jersey. Let ACY take the stress out of travel. Book your next adventure at acairport.com.
This is Game Night with Josh Hennig on 97.3 ESPN and the 97.3 ESPN free mobile app.
Check back on the text board in just a moment at 609-403-0973. You know, Spencer Turnbull is starting tonight, and I got to tell you guys, I'm not a fan what the Phillies are planning to do when Taijuan Walker returns. To me, and I know guys like Wheeler and Nola don't like the 6-man rotation, okay? But I got to tell you guys, if I'm the Phillies, I work them hard on that. I will push them very, very hard on that front, because I genuinely believe that I don't want to take a guy out of a starting rotation just because a guy named Taijuan Walker needs to take his spot. I don't think that is a good way of going about things. I really don't. To me, Walker coming back to the rotation and Spencer Turnbull going to the bullpen, it's just not good, man. I think it's a bad sign when an organization tells a guy, hey, you did a great job. Now we're technically demoting you. Again, I'm just not a fan of it. I don't like the way that goes. I would have either done one of two things. I would have either gone to a 6-man rotation so you can get all those guys in, or I go to Turnbull and explain to him that he is going to be the primary pitcher who comes in when certain starters are on the mound. So, like, for example, if there are games, like if you want to go to Christopher Sanchez and be like, Christopher, if you give us 4 or 5 innings a night, that's all we're asking for. And then you tell Turnbull, whenever Sanchez comes out, you're coming in. Like, if there was a game plan with that, I'd be moderately okay with that. But I just don't like this mentality of let's kick a guy to the curb when he's doing so well for us. Now, of course, the other side of the game tonight is the Phillies wearing those horrible City Connect uniforms. I told you guys last week, they look like they're a fictional baseball team from the Sylvester Stallone movie Demolition Man. You know, some futuristic baseball team. It's really, really dumb-looking uniforms. I hope they lose every game in the uniforms so the players tell the organization to stop wearing them or something like that. I hate the uniforms. I don't know what's worse right now. I feel like they're kicking Spencer Turnbull to the curb or these uniforms. I don't know what's worse right now. You guys can tell me. 609-403-0973. All right, back to Sixers talk. Couple texts coming in. Jeff from Ocean City chimes in. Says, haters are going to hate. Go Sixers. You know, it's interesting, Jeff, because, and I'll grab my phone real quick. You know, I had somebody who I think qualifies for haters are going to hate came at me on Twitter X. And, you know, I'm convinced there are just some people who are just miserable people and they'll never be happy because. So I made the comment on Wednesday night. Okay. And this is part of the reason why I don't do Twitter and social media much. I'll be perfectly honest with you guys. I know that, you know, Joey D from Ventnor has always told me that, you know, I need to be more active on social media. But it's dialogues like this when the only person dialoguing with you is saying this stuff, right? So I made the comment the Sixers played horrible in the first half on Wednesday, but they showed heart and they found a way to win. Nicholas Batum was clutch. And you guys know how I feel about it. It doesn't matter if you win by an inch or a mile, winning is winning, okay? That's why I don't go around hating as much as some people do. And the only response I got on social media was, big whoop, a win at home over a team that isn't very good. Get the confetti ready for this joke of a franchise. And Bede will mope his way through the Knicks to the next series. And first of all, I didn't reply at first because I was just like, I can't believe that literally I said nothing about winning a championship. I said nothing about anything except for the one single game. And the person extrapolates that into this. Basically, you're urinating on my head feeling of an answer. And I told them, I said, you sound like a very negative person, because that's what really haters are. Haters are people who are negative and they want to tear you down to make themselves feel better because misery loves company. So I wanted to say, you sound like a very negative person. I said, no one say anything about confetti. I think we're all allowed to say, good job, you guys survived an ugly win. Because it doesn't matter who the other team is. Sixers have to find a way to win, and they did it in a unique way on Wednesday. That was my entire point on social media. Okay? And the answer I get on Twitter X is, I'm a 47-year-old diehard Philly fan. Eagles season ticket since before you were born. The amount of horrendous losses I've seen in person is staggering. Sixers franchise is a joke. You'll see. So again, I make 2 tweets. And the only answer I'm getting has nothing to do with what I'm saying. This is why I just don't engage with people sometimes. This is why I don't engage with haters. This is why I don't engage with negative people. Because first of all, what does a person's age, being a season ticket holder, and being a Philly fan have anything to do with me saying the Sixers deserve credit for winning the game on Wednesday? Nothing. What does all the past Sixer losses have to do with this team? Nothing. Because Nick Nurse wasn't the coach when they lost the series previously to the Heat, or the series to the Hawks, or the series to the Celtics last year. Nick Nurse wasn't here for all the years of the miserable losing. Nick Nurse wasn't here when those Iverson teams couldn't bounce back after their one NBA Finals run. Joel Embiid was not here 20 years ago. Tyrese Maxey wasn't here 3-4 years ago. There are so many people who were not here. What does their success on Wednesday have to do with the Sixers franchise history? Absolutely nothing. And this is the problem with social media. And I'll get off my soapbox in a minute and get back to your guys' texts at 609-403-0973. I appreciate Jeff from Ocean City giving me 100% correct on the text board. I appreciate the support. But, social media, when it first came about years ago, was an opportunity for people to connect with new people, to engage on news and topics and information, and share stuff online, right? Now, social media has become an opportunity for people to hide behind fake names and fake avatars and just vomit whatever they want out into the atmosphere. Because if they would have said these things to people in person before social media came into existence, they would have either been punched in the face or laughed out of the bar. Because that's what used to happen. Yes, I am not 47 years old, but I am old enough that I do remember a world before the internet, before social media, before we had these smartphones in our hands. Let me tell you what happened back in the day. Back in the day, you talked to people in person. You interacted with individuals in real time, in real life. You made phone calls. You contacted each other. You hung out with people. You got to know individuals. And social media has completely ruined our ability to be human beings anymore. Because now, the conversations and the verbiage that is used on social media would never have been accepted years ago. I literally see stuff online that all I could think of was, man, that would have got me jumped when I was a kid. When I used to live in South Philly, when I used to hang out with my pop-up, we used to go to the pool hall when I was a kid, right? Or we would go out to a Phillies game, right? There was just stuff you didn't say out in public. You would get punished by either your own family or someone else would punish you, basically. And you weren't allowed to go home and crying to your mommy and daddy about it. It was, well, you shouldn't have said that. You don't say certain things in public. And now we have allowed social media to enable people to just vomit constantly and not have conversation, not have dialogue. And frankly, the toxicity of social media has also destroyed every aspect of human interaction. Dating in today's society is a topsy-turvy disaster. Meeting people, whether it is just as friends or in other capacities, is a complete disaster. People look at you weird sometimes when you say hello to them in public. Trying to be a polite individual gets looked down upon. People think you have ulterior motives all the time. God forbid we just be honest human beings and genuine with each other and just have a nice conversation. Instead, everything's got to have an agenda or a purpose or someone shaking their fist at the clouds and saying, I want to be heard. And that's why I don't jump on this microphone and constantly address the haters, Jeff in Ocean City, because to me, I don't want to waste my time and your time constantly addressing it. Having this microphone is an honor and a privilege that I am grateful for forever. And we shouldn't be wasting the honor and privilege to have these conversations, whether it is on the radio here on 97.3 ESPN FM or you're listening on the 97.3 ESPN mobile app. However you're consuming the show, thank you for listening. Or if you're someone who meets me out and about, whether I'm at the bar or a brewery or I'm wherever I'm at, you see me at the store, the gym, whatever it may be, okay? If we're having a conversation, I'm going to treat you like a human being. I'm not going to treat you like social media treats people because I wasn't raised like that. And if you are someone who has a corrupted view of the world around you because of social media or because of past interactions with people that you have had, I'm sorry you went through that. And I'm sorry that has corrupted you. But I'm not going to let you bring that element into my life. And that's why I don't address the haters constantly. Someone just texted in, people should ban TikTok or however you spell it. Apparently, they're trying to ban it in Congress, apparently. That's a conversation for the news talk station. Back to the text at 609-403-0970. Joey D. Better chimes in. As long as the Knicks don't run the Sixers out of the gym, it should be a good series. Fast breaks are going to be the difference. Joey, you're right, because, the concern with a team like the Pacers is they are a running gun team. They are a high octane. When I watch the Pacers play basketball, I think of two songs. I think of Fuel by Metallica and Ballin' by Jim Jones. I think of a team that is 100 miles an hour, that's flying high, and they are going to just make you beat them at their game. The Knicks aren't going to do that. The Knicks are a team that is much more methodical, much more deliberate of an offense. So if you are dealing with a team that is much more methodical, much more deliberate of an offense, I think it's fair to assume that you are not going to get run out of the gym. Now, Joey D, part of being not run out of the gym is also not allowing the Knicks to go bombs away on you and make a ton of threes. That's the other side of the coin. You cannot let the Knicks be the team to beat you by shooting a gazillion threes because for whatever reason, you can't rotate or communicate on defense. That's a huge problem. And if the Sixers do that, I guarantee you they lose in 5 or 6 games. If the 76ers go out there and let the Knicks get open threes and Jalen Brunson and Dante DiVincenzo and Josh Hart own this series like some people think they can, you have no hope. Because a team that you let get hot will burn you alive. That's how the NBA works. George on the text board at 609-403-0973. George and Galloway says, Josh, you're absolutely on fire with this social media modern society take. And it's not 1, not 2, but 3 fire emojis. See, George and Galloway gets it. See, George, I appreciate that. George is a mixture of 2 worlds. George is obviously an older individual. He's not a young kid who understands the problem with modern society and social media. But he takes something that is a part of modern society of social media, the emoji, and uses it to amplify his point. See, you can do both, folks. You don't have to hate modern society and social media and technology. I feel like I'm on Facebook more than anybody should be because of my job in part. But guess what? I don't sit there and dwell on the junk on social media. I use emojis. I'm not afraid to admit that. I've been probably criticized and made fun of for using emojis. But guess what? Emojis are a very easy way to get your point across. And George and Galloway gets it. See, George and Galloway, you and I could get along. We could have a beer and we could make fun of people. I'm just kidding. I make fun of people, but so we can have a conversation. 609-403-0973. Texter didn't leave their name, so I'll just call you Mr. Anonymous. Mr. Anonymous says, yeah, Josh, I agree. I only received 4 tweets where I had a Twitter account, and 3 of them were from the Errors Tour, so I had to uninstall. What? I feel like that needs a further explanation. First of all, why was someone, it sounds like it was spam accounts were tweeting at you. I would say to Mr. Anonymous, those are situations where you can just report accounts or ban them. Like, for example, Threads was created by Instagram and Facebook creators as an alternative to Twitter. But the difference between Twitter and Threads is that on Twitter, it's very obvious now that we have about, let me see here. When was Twitter come out? Like 2008. So that's what, 16 years ago. We have 16 years of Twitter and over 10 years of Instagram and 20 years of Facebook that we know who the fake accounts are now. So I recommend to you, anonymous texter, the next time you want to be on social media, just ask a friend. You know, remember on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, you can call a friend for an answer. Someone would have been able to help you and let you know that those are probably bots, and you could have just blocked them or reported them, and they would have been out of your life. The problem with Threads right now, I'm discovering, and I am almost to the point where I am going to delete Threads off of my phone. Like, I am this close. Threads and Snapchat, I feel like they are 2 of the most useless, frivolous apps at this point right now. And I am 1 wrong notification from completely uninstalling them from my phone. Okay, guys, because let me tell you something. The amount of trash and spam and just fill in the blank expletive I can't say on the radio that is on Threads and Snapchat right now is absolutely nauseating. Like, I can at least go through my Twitter feed and my Facebook feed, and I'm not completely inundated or overwhelmed or just hating life in general. Instagram is a blessing and a curse, because Instagram is honestly some of the best meme content and the best GIFs and the best just laughs. Like the amount of like old clips that I run into on, like, whether it's funny clips or motivational clips I run into on Instagram, it's absolutely awesome. But every time I'm on Instagram, I find myself unfollowing a new person. Like, I'm constantly finding someone on Instagram that I'm going to unfollow because they're posting stuff I have zero interest in. And I have to like look at their account and be like, why did I follow this person in the first place? Who is this idiot and why did I follow them in the first place? So yeah, yeah, that's how I feel about social media right now. I would say anonymous text, don't delete your Twitter account next time. Maybe just change some of your settings and who you're following, and the algorithms dictate what you see or who contacts you a lot of times, right? I get a lot of weird stuff that comments and like stuff on my accounts, and I can tell who the fake people are at this point. So yeah, next time call a friend before you uninstall your Twitter account. Because next time you should have been following at 973 ESPN on Twitter, at Josh Hennig on Twitter. You can follow the Phillies and the Eagles, Sixers and the Flyers on Twitter. You'll be fine. And you can ignore the idiots. Texture Volley follow. He said, it was when the phone signed me up and I did it because there was supposed to be a live event with The Rock. Well, that's how they suck you in. They suck you in because they have all these live streams and these Q&A sessions, right? That's how they get you guys now. Like the Phillies would be like, download the app and sign up so you can check in this Q&A session with, I don't know, JT Realmuto. I'm just saying because I see Realmuto catching in this ugly. I mean, the Phillies are supposed to be red and white and a little bit of blue. How is blue and yellow anything to do with the Phillies? It's not Phillies colors. This is an abomination on my television right now here in the studio. Jeff from Motion City says, thanks for the advice. I have Twitter, X, Instagram, and Facebook. Yeah, I feel like we're at a point right now where you don't need anything more than that, Jeff in Ocean City. I feel like if you're a sports fan and you have friends who you like keeping up with, you really only need those three. I know there's a lot of political people who have opinions about Twitter X and they have opinions about Facebook. Again, I take the change the channel approach to a lot of this stuff, folks. If I don't like a baseball game, I go find out a baseball game. If I don't like the movie on television, I change the channel, or now we change what app we're watching, right? If you don't like the content on your feed, change the content, change who you're following, unfollow people, block people, ignore people. I mean, you literally on Twitter X, you can if you click on like an ad, you can mute them and you never see ads from that person again. All right. If you don't like content that you're getting on your feed, you can say, I don't like this content. I don't want to see this. I want to unfollow this person. I'm going to unblock this person. I feel like the block function gets joked about on sports talk radio at times, but it's really a valuable function. I've actually never used it, but I think there's a lot of women who complain on social media who probably should use it. I'll just leave it at that. All right, we'll get more of your messages on the other side. I love the fact that you guys are chatting me on the social media conversation. I guess I got to talk some sports and give you some picks on the other side as well. As Phillies are 0-0 right now as they're getting ready to bottom in the bottom of the first. Man, these uniforms are so ugly. I'm Josh Hennig. This is Game Night. 97.3 ESPN FM, 97.3 ESPN. Mobile app powered by First Bank of Seattle City.
It's Sixers Knicks Game 1 tomorrow night on 97.3 ESPN with the voice of the Sixers, Tom McGinnis, calling all the exciting play-by-play action.
Batum fakes it, dribbles it, shoots a three. It's up and good again. He is going to be remembered for this one. Nico Batum, 6 threes. Sixers by 4.
It's Sixers playoff basketball on South Jersey's official home for the 76ers. 97.3 ESPN. Coverage begins at 6 p.m.
With Spring Black Friday savings at the Home Depot, you can give your lawn or garden beds a pop of color and protection. Right now, get a special buy on Scott's Earth Grow Mulch, 5 bags for just $10. Help your soil retain moisture longer with color that lasts up to 12 months. Shop Spring Black Friday savings for a special buy on Scott's Earth Grow Mulch 5 bags for just $10 at the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
Are you or a loved one living with a disability in the Garden State? If so, NJ Able is here to help. This special tax advantage savings account lets those with disabilities save for qualified expenses without impacting SSI and Medicaid eligibility. NJ Able makes it simple to both save money and grow your savings by investing without having to give up important benefits you rely on. NJ Able can also be used to help with housing, education, transportation, food, and so much more. To learn more, visit us at nj.savewithable.com. A message from the New Jersey Department of Human Services.
Some people just know bundling with Allstate means big savings. Just like they know the right ingredient means big flavor. They know honey on pizza is where it's at. And olive oil on ice cream is the cherry on top. And they know when you bundle home and auto with Allstate, you can save up to 25%.
Bundled savings vary by state and are not available in every state. Saving up to 25% is the countrywide average of the maximum available savings off the home policy. Allstate Vehicle and Property Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Hey there, you and aisle 2. I see you by the fiber and laxatives. You still using those to manage your constipation with belly pain? If your symptoms keep coming back, you may have irritable bowel syndrome with constipation, or IBS-C. So you may need more than over-the-counter treatments to manage it. Ask your doctor about how Linzess can help you get ahead of it.
Linzess linaclotide is a prescription medicine that treats IBS-C in adults. It's not a laxative. It's a once-daily pill that helps you get ahead of your symptoms. It's proven to help you have more frequent and complete bowel movements and helps relieve overall abdominal symptoms, belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. These symptoms were studied in combination, not individually. Do not give Linzess to children less than 2. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling. Learn more at linzess.com or call 1-800-LINZESS.
Champion Exteriors. Champion, the one you call first. Voted best of the best in Jersey Shores. For roofing and siding, windows and doors. 24-month financing, no payments, no interest. Your certified GAF elite contractors. Champion-exteriors.com. Champion Exteriors. Champion, the one you call first.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
This story is called The Ugly Truth About Timeshare. If you think you've done your family a favor by buying a timeshare, you need my help. Hello, I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. 10 years ago, I started helping folks cancel their timeshare. In the process, started what's now called the timeshare cancellation industry. The ugly truth is when you buy a timeshare, you can't tell me how much it's going to cost or when it's going to end. I recently helped a couple that had their maintenance fees go from $800 to $3,200 a year. They also received a $4,000 assessment for a hurricane that was over 1,000 miles away. Sound crazy? The crazy thing is this never ends. Call my office now. If we take you as a client, I guarantee we'll cancel your timeshare or you'll pay nothing.
Call for your free information kit. Call 800-462-3333. That's 800-462-3333. 800-462-3333.
Find what you love, love what you find. A Total Wine and More. There's so much waiting for you. Spirits and beer, thousands of wines. Walk right through the door. It's all here to explore. With guides in the know and prices so low, it just might blow your mind. You're gonna find what you love and love what you find.
Drink responsibly, B21.
With GMF financing to qualify buyers excludes Corvette, excludes fire sales.
It's back! Bennett Chevrolet selling new Chevys at $500 below GM supplier employee pricing. You heard right. At Bennett Chevrolet, we're not only selling new Chevys at GM employee supplier pricing. No. Bennett selling new Chevys at $500 below GM supplier employee prices. Plus, you keep all the rebates. Yes, you keep all rebates and get a new vehicle at $500 below GM supplier employee employee pricing. And Bennett's got available 1.9% financing, saving you even more. Looking for used? For a limited time, you'll get a minimum $10,000 for any old rusted, busted junker you can get here. That's at least 10 grand towards any pre-owned in stock. Imagine how much you'll get for a good trade. And you'll absolutely love our non-commissioned sales team because they're paid on your satisfaction, not how much you spend. It's Bennett Chevy's best offer ever. New Chevys at $500 below the GM supplier employee price. Plus, you keep all the rebates. Together, let's drive at Bennett Chevrolet, Egg Harbor Township, and BennettChevy.com.
Now, more Game Night with Josh Hennick on 97.3 ESPN and on the 97.3 ESPN free mobile app, powered by First Bank of Sea Isle City.
Coming up in a few minutes, one more opportunity for you to qualify for the Eagles trip to Baltimore contest. Thanks to Philly Sports Trips. When you hear the sounder, be caller 6 and 7 when we tell you to call. Before we get to you, my picks for the playoffs and the weekend here on 97.3 ESPN. Josh Hennick hanging out with you. I got a bunch of texts. I'm going to run through all these texts here. 609-403-0973. All right, let's see here. You guys have really just jumped on this topic. George in Galloway says, I'm 31 years old. I was around when the first iPhone came out, and I've watched it transform society. Now, everyone my age feels this way. They basically describe my stance better than I could. P.S. I would love to grab a beer and make fun of, talk about life. That's George in Galloway. George, if you ever see me out and about, make sure you say hello. All right. Mike and more chimes in and says, I only have Facebook and rarely use it. This is the way. Nice Mandalorian reference there by Mike and Marmora. I find Facebook still to be valuable. I think there's a lot. I think Facebook right now, again, as long as you customize your settings and make sure you don't friends with the wrong people or follow the wrong people, you're going to be okay with Facebook. Jeff in Ocean City says, thanks for, he said, I'm stepping. Oh, okay. Yeah. Jeff saying have a good weekend. Okay. Have a good weekend, Jeff, and enjoy your weekend. By the way, shout out to the guy who keeps trying to explain to me, the anonymous texter, about TikTok and deleting Twitter. And yeah, it's a lot here, man. I'm not here to solve all your problems with social media, but I appreciate you listening to the show. All right, so I got some picks. So first of all, I've seen on certain betting apps that you can place a wager on what conference to win the NBA Finals. And I'm telling you guys right now, my pick is the Western Conference. I'm getting the distinct feeling there's only one team in the East that can win the championship, while there's 6 teams in the West who can. I think that you can make a safe wager the Western Conference is going to win the NBA playoffs. In terms of the series, I like the Magic plus 155 to beat the Cavs. I think the Cavs are a scared team. I think they're a team that doesn't know how to win properly. I think they're a sad excuse for a basketball team. I also like, I got to say, I like Timberwolves plus 125 to beat the Suns. I think the Suns don't have enough depth. I think the Timberwolves are way too athletic. I also like, I wish there was some value to get the Pacers, but they're at minus 120. I would say if you could take the Pacers, let me see if I can do this on my app here. I'm running out of real estate here, so I got to see how my fingers are so slow. Okay, so if I parlay, so it lets me do it. Okay, now I know. Parlay the Pacers and the Magic both to win their series. It's pretty good odds. I like that bet there. Parlay the Pacers and the Magic to win their series. That's your bet for the weekend here on Game Night. All right, you know what the sounder means. Callers 6 and 7. Your chance to shine. 609-573-3776. 609-573-3776. Caller 6 and 7. You are in for the Eagles, Baltimore Ravens, Philly Sports Trip giveaway contest. And of course, if you are a qualifier, you must be present next Thursday. Daily NFL Draft at Topgolf inside Ocean Casino Resort in Atlantic City, where Mike Gill, the Sports Bash, will be broadcasting live from 2 to 6 p.m. Today is one of the final days for you to qualify. So if you've been wanting to qualify and you want to get in, dial right now, 609-573-3776, caller 67. Good luck. I'm Josh Hennick. This is Game Night. The NBA Play-In Tournament is next. I'll be back tomorrow with Billy Schwein in the locker room tomorrow morning on 97.3 ESPN.
Saturday morning in the locker room with Billy Schwein, Josh Hennick, and former Kansas City Chiefs wide receiver Dave Clemick join me in the studio. The White Sox come to town to face the Phils for a 3-game series to finish up their homestand. The Sixers' first-round opponent is the New York Knicks. The sportsbook consigliere Dave Sherapan checks in from Las Vegas with his playoff picks. The Eagles prepare for the draft. We will take a closer look. All that and more. It's the locker room with Billy Schwein, Saturday morning from 10 a.m. to noon on 97.3 ESPN.